Hello, I'm Camelia. You're watching KiniNews. A heated exchange about the use of English in the Bahasa Malaysia version of a bill has triggered PN lawmakers, and one of them was even ejected from the Dewan Rakyat for not sitting down when asked to.
Kalau tak bagi, tak bagilah.
Kali ketiga,
jangan
saya suruh duduk. Duduk.
Sebab
duduk. Bentara.
Arahan speaker.
3 hari. Belum keluar. Selesaikan.
selamat bercuti, Besut.
Besut dah duduk tadi, dah duduk.
A Perikatan Nasional MP was kicked out of the Dewan Rakyat today. This is after he failed to adhere to the Deputy Speaker's order to sit down during a parliamentary debate. Besut MP Zulkifly Jusoh was also suspended from attending the parliamentary session for 3 days, beginning today.
Saya telah buat keputusan. Saya telah bagi.
Keputusan dibuat selepas saya duduk.
Dia dah duduk dah tu.
Macam mana ni?
Yang berhormat,
Saya dah duduk dah. Kenapa keputusan selepas? Sepatut keputusan semasa saya
saya
berdiri.
telah buat keputusan dan saya telah beri amaran 3 kali.
Yang saya dah duduk pun. Saya dah duduk dah.
Yang berhormat tak
Keputusan
duduk.
semasa saya duduk.
Bentara, jalankan tugas.
It began when Zulkifly interrupted a verbal exchange between Deputy Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Ramkarpal Singh, and Kota Bharu MP Takiyuddin Hassan. This caused Deputy Speaker Ramli to tell Zulkifly to sit down, which the latter did after 2 warnings. However, the former Umno MP stood up again to interrupt Ramkarpal's speech, and this was when Ramli issued a 3rd warning. When Zulkifly appeared hesitant, Ramli ordered the Parliament's Sergeant-at-Arms to escort Zulkifly out of the August House, and he read out the suspension order. Zulkifly, a former Sessions Court judge, appeared unhappy with his suspension, saying he already sat down. The issue behind the heated exchange was over alleged discrepancies between the English and Bahasa Melayu words used in the government's bill to amend the Sexual Offences Against Children Act distributed to lawmakers.
Sebenarnya saya dihalau keluar kerana saya cuba pertahankan bahawa pembentangan bil dia, kalau bahasa Malaysia dipanggil rang undang-undang, dalam bahasa Inggerisnya bil. Tapi di Dewan kita ada 2, satu rang undang-undang dan satu bil. Jadi yang rang undang-undang ini sepatutnya semua dalam bahasa Malaysia. Tapi sebahagiannya panel section tu 507A dalam bahasa Inggeris. Tapi huraiannya dalam bahasa Malaysia. Itu yang masalah yang berlaku. Kalau apa keterangan oleh Timbalan Menteri halau undang-undang tadi, disebut dia kata mana penggunaan boleh digunakan bahasa Inggeris. Itu bukan persoalan dia. Persoalannya, kenapa bil dalam versi bahasa Malaysia tidak sepenuhnya dalam bahasa Malaysia? Itu yang persoalan yang timbul. Jadi saya cuba pertahankan perkara itu dan dihalau keluar untuk 3 hari.
Fugitive Jho Low is now convicted fugitive Jho Low after a court in Kuwait sentenced him to 10 years in prison.
A court in Kuwait has convicted businessperson Jho Low in absentia yesterday. He was convicted for money laundering charges in relation to the 1MDB scandal, according to reports. Kuwaiti newspaper Al-Kabas reported that a sheikh, his partner, and 2 foreigners have been sentenced to 10 years imprisonment. Meanwhile, a lawyer was sentenced to 7 years imprisonment. They were also ordered to return 4.4 billion ringgit in addition to paying fines totaling 2 billion ringgit. The newspaper did not name the sheikh, his partner, nor the lawyer, and only mentioned it as a Malaysian fund, saying it was the largest money laundering case. It did identify the foreigners as Low and the Syrian-French businessperson Bachar Kiwan. The whistleblower website Sarawak Report meanwhile said the Malaysian fund in question was 1MDB. It also identified the sheikh as Sheikh Sabah Jabir Al-Mubarak Al-Sabah as the son of a former Kuwaiti Prime Minister. His partner was identified as Low's associate Hamad Al-Wazan and the lawyer as Saud Abdel Mohsan. According to Al-Kamas, the five were accused of laundering Chinese currency equivalent of 4.95 billion ringgit, knowing that they were illegal proceeds embezzled from a Malaysian sovereign wealth fund.
With 6 state elections expected this year, PN is still undecided on its poster boy for Selangor. Could it be Azmin Ali? Talks between Bersatu and PAS are still on.
Perikatan Nasional has yet to finalise its poster boy Menteri Besar candidate in Selangor for the upcoming state polls. Selangor PAS Secretary Roslan Shahir Muhammad Shahir said the question of whether the Menteri Besar candidate will come from PAS or Bersatu is still being negotiated. He said this to Malaysia Kini when asked about the PN Menteri Besar candidate for the state. Yesterday, Kedah PAS confirmed that Menteri Besar Muhammad Sanusi Nur will be PN's poster boy to face the state election there. Kedah PAS Secretary Musodak Ahmad explained that the people's support for Sanusi, along with his performance, was the basis of his appointment as a poster boy. Last Saturday, Sanusi, who is also PN's election director, said the coalition's Menteri Besar candidates will be its poster boys in the 6 state elections. Kelantan, Kedah, Terengganu, Negeri Sembilan, Selangor and Penang are expected to hold state polls in the next few months.
Jamal Yunus has obtained a conditional stay. This means he won't have to pay Teresa Kok 300,000 ringgit just yet.
The Court of Appeal allowed Jamal Yunus not to pay 300,000 in damages to Teresa Kok pending his appeal against her defamation suit. The 3-person bench unanimously granted a conditional stay against a High Court ruling that Jamal pays the compensation as well as 50,000 ringgit in costs to the DAP lawmaker. On July 26 last year, the High Court in Kuala Lumpur ordered the BN politician to pay the judgment sum and costs to Kok for his 2017 speech. In his speech, Jamal accused the DAP lawmaker of abusing Yayasan Warisan Anak Selangor funds. Kok has since initiated separate bankruptcy proceedings before the High Court in Kuala Lumpur to recover the money from Jamal. The High Court also denied Jamal's application to stay the verdict pending the disposal of his appeal before the Court of Appeal. During this morning's Court of Appeal proceedings, the court partly allowed Jamal's stay application by granting a conditional stay. Now the money is to be deposited into the bank account of Kok's solicitor to be held as a stakeholder pending the disposal of the main appeal against the High Court ruling.
PKR is seeking 10 million ringgit from Zuraida for leaving the party. To make their case in court, Saifuddin said she would have won in GE14 if she didn't contest under PKR. Zuraida Kamarudin won the Ampang parliamentary seat in GE14 because she contested under the PKR ticket, not due to the strength of her character. This is according to PKR Secretary General Saifuddin Nasution Ismail in his witness statement to support PKR's 10 million ringgit defection suit against her. He said this was proven when Zuraida failed to win the seat in last year's GE15 under the Parti Bangsa Malaysia ticket. Saifuddin was disagreeing with Zuraida's claim that she won over Ampang voters in GE14 in 2018 due to the strength of her character and personal qualities. Zuraida, along with 11 other MPs led by former PKR Deputy President Azmin Ali, left the party in February 2020. They supported Bersatu, UMNO and GPS in forming Perikatan Nasional. This formed part of the Sheraton move which led to the downfall of the then Harapan administration. In September that same year, before the High Court in Kuala Lumpur, PKR filed a civil action to demand 10 million ringgit over her leaving the party. Saifuddin added that Zuraida willingly signed the 10 million ringgit bond agreement before contesting Ampang under PKR. Kit Siang has commended the appointment of UMNO's Johari Ghani to head the 1MDB task force, and he's expecting to see results. Lim Kit Siang has called for the 1MDB task force to be empowered to investigate other unsatisfactory deals. The DAP veteran cited the settlement between 1MDB and the International Petroleum Investment Company as an example. Last month, IPIC and Abar Investments PJS agreed to pay about 8 billion ringgit to the Minister of Finance Incorporated and 1MDB. This led to some to demand an explanation for the shortfall compared to the amount of 26 billion ringgit that former AG Tommy Thomas was disputing. Lim said the task force should present its first report to the May-June meeting of Parliament. The task force is headed by Titiwangsa MP Johari Abdul Ghani. Lim's call came in the wake of a Kuwaiti court convicting businessperson Jho Low. The court sentenced him and others to 10 years imprisonment for charges related to the 1MDB scandal.
And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. If you'd like to support independent media, do consider subscribing to MalaysiaKini.com. I'm Kimilia. Thanks for watching.